Disclosure Day is an old movie. Though it came out in 2026, it was directed by Steven Spielberg. It was composed by John Williams. It had several actors that were household names like Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth. The entire premise of disclosing the fact that aliens exist would have worked so much better, let's say 40 years ago. Because nowadays, if someone had told me that aliens existed, I don't necessarily care. To be honest, our government has told us many times that there have been UFOs. And to be honest, I think the vast majority of the world is kind of apathetic to aliens because it doesn't impact us on our day to day. But the fact that it would have done better 40 years ago is not the reason why it did poorly today. Disclosure Day is an interesting movie. It follows the story of the world on the brink of World War III. But at the end of the movie, spoilers, that World War III is averted because everyone's now focusing on the existence of aliens. An existence that is so shocking that the newscaster does a fantastic performance. Kudos to Courtney Grace. She did a wonderful job as a newscaster. But that is not the problem of the film. Sure, the action sequences are a little bit outdated. We see a car flying off the cliff. We see a train ram into cars. We see this sort of plot where the aliens look exactly as we imagined them 50 years ago and not like we imagine them now in like Project Hail Mary or other things where they can take vastly different forms than the green little bug-eyed men walking around. That is not the problem with the film. The problem is the focus of it. When we start out the story and we see Emily Blunt's character sort of have this sleeper agent awakening by seeing that bird, who turns out to be an alien, her life falls apart. She is then thrust into this whole espionage type leaking of information that is really cool, but that is not the heart of what made this movie enjoyable. The brilliance of the movie lies within Emily Blunt's portrayal as Margaret and Josh O'Connor's portrayal as Daniel. When seeing their interactions, when seeing Emily Blunt have a whole full-on panic attack about the idea of Parkinson's and about the stress that she is undergoing, that is a wonderful part of the movie that feels so grounded. You can understand how big these moments are affecting the characters. And that should be the focus of the film. The idea that aliens exist, again, is not that exciting anymore. Like the government says, hey, aliens exist. The day goes on as normal. The news of knowing that aliens exist doesn't affect our day to day. And the vast majority of people, whether they choose to believe it or not, especially in this day and age of AI, which they briefly address in the film, it doesn't matter if aliens exist because the vast majority of people's lives are unchanged. They do not feel a difference knowing that aliens are out there. And I feel like that is the most important part of the movie. When you have these disaster movies or war movies or anything else, when you showcase such a grand calamity or such a shocking revelation, you don't showcase the big thing and then end the movie. You showcase its effects on people. So if there's a war, you showcase a little toy buried in the dirt. You show houses burnt and broken down into rubble. These things affect and impact people, and people are at the heart of so many stories. This isn't a problem of having aliens in your story, because look at Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary did wonderfully where it was about the end of the world and an alien encounter that helped save the world and gave it hope. But the focus wasn't on the calamity, the focus was on the individual relationships of the characters and of the alien. And that is what is desperately missing in Steven Spielberg's latest film, Disclosure Day. Even the superpowers featured in the film after the main characters got probed by the aliens was vastly underutilized and, to be honest, a little stereotypical. We have the man suddenly really good at logic and numbers, and we have the woman good at handling emotions and being empathetic. What are we doing? Women are more empathetic and men are smarter in logic? That is what this movie's superpowers were, just stereotypes? But regardless, those superpowers should have been huge parts about the story because they are so important on changing their lives, changing people's lives. People can feel super empathetic with the main character. Even that news staff person who said that they left their abusive relationship because of Emily Blunt's words was nice. It was great to see that the actions of this story impacted someone in some way. But the rest of the movie doesn't do that. Even Margaret's husband or partner, whoever he was, he's not even important. By midway, he's gone. And you just see him at the end going like, wow, aliens. what are we doing here? The overall feeling of the film is exactly as it's portrayed when that car flew off the cliff. The entertaining part is not that you see a car fly off the cliff and hit the water. The entertaining part is why that car is flying off the cliff in the first place. They focus so much on the alien part of the movie that it didn't resonate with the humans who are watching this damn movie. And I don't even know how you really fix this story if you did not focus on the actual characters. One way they could have fixed this movie is if they had the ending be the beginning of the movie. Let everyone know that Disclosure Day happened. Don't make the movie about the day before Disclosure Day. Make the movie about Disclosure Day, where everyone learned that aliens are real. And now, how does that affect the world going forward? How does that affect people who are on the brink of World War III? Don't just say, they exist and then end the movie. Showcase to us what that does to society because that is the most interesting thing. It doesn't have to be entirely realistic. Make it funny, make it exciting. Don't just focus on a one subset of people in America who are played by British actors mainly and just have that be everything. The whole world is going to be affected by this news that aliens exist. And that is the biggest flaw of the movie. It is not in its old cinematography styles that Steven Spielberg does, which is still fantastic and holds up well. It is not the over the top score that John Williams performs because it is so beautiful and honestly one of my favorite parts of the movie, even though it feels like a relic from the past. It is truly just the focus on the plot and the alien revelation rather than how it affects people. And this story could have done numbers maybe 40 years ago, but today's modern age, the existence of aliens should be the side piece, and the characters and how they interact and how they get affected by this should be the centerpiece. But all to say, I do actually love the ending. And to be honest, the ending was the best part of the movie, which is why I think it should be the beginning of the movie, because it sets it up so well. And I actually love Colin Firth's villain character sitting down at the very end. This is the switching of the old guard. He is tired. He is done keeping secrets. He is done lying to people about aliens. He wants to see the world change because he's tired of fighting. Nothing good has come from him hiding the alien secrets for so long. So at the end of the movie, they drop honestly, a banger last line. They showcase aliens to the world. Emily Blunt gets on camera and she says the word, listen. And that is such a good way to start a damn movie because now you are left with the feeling that, hey, now we got to listen to how the world is going to change. We have to listen to new voices now. Steven Spielberg, whether this be his last movie or not, is metaphorically passing on the torch to a new society, to a new culture, to a new era of filmmakers who are now going to make their stories, and we have to listen because every day things are happening all around the world. What we need to do is see how the world is going to change, sit down and listen to it. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts about the movie. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and let me know what you thought about Disclosure Day. As always, check the links in the description for my main video essay channel and my Patreon to support the channel and recommend media for me to review next. Thank you to all the current Patreon members whose memberships keep this channel afloat. I am so grateful you are all here with me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.